Something wicked here. It's in the air. I can smell it.
Witchers, good folk, are like necrophages, vile in appearance and reeking of dead men's bile. It's rotting flesh they truly crave. To kill one or the other is a service to mankind.
I hear it. I smell it. That stench again. Slime and rotting flesh. Necrophages.
Beware of the ghouls.
Of all the beasts and monsters that dwell on this earth, necrophages are perhaps the most repulsive. They stink of carrion, they feast on the bones and blood of the dead and the living. Haunting places such as old cemeteries, graveyards,
Lots of ghouls there now, drawn by the stench of corpses.
battlefields.
Of course, when armies pass, necrophages follow.
They can be found in sewers and dark places underground.
Stinks of carrion, rot fiend
And
nest.
finally in marshland, bogs and swamps of all kinds. Necrophages come in many terrible forms, of which I will speak of now. First are the ghouls or the graviers. Humans say that ghouls arose from scoundrels who indulged in cannibalism, changed into these beasts as punishment for their ill deeds. This is but myth, however, as ghouls bear no relation to humanity, aside from a coincidental appearance. They walk on all fours like a skulking hound, with human faces, great fangs and claws for digging up graves. You will find them wherever corpses lay, as they desecrate the dead.
They're corpse eaters, aye. And they grow bolder by the day. Crawl out to attack the living.
The larger of the species, owl ghouls, are the alphas of the packs. It will take a witcher's knowledge to tell the difference, of course.
By markings, like unto the Panthera tigris that in Zeracania dwells, and by the sickly paleness of its visage.
They have great spines or quills that protrude from their backs and pallid, rotted skin. Ghouls also possess an ability of regeneration, which makes them excellent pack hunters. An unprepared witcher may be caught off his guard by a horde of ghouls, if he is none too careful. Next is the rotfiends, and their more deadly cousins the scurvers. Rotfiends appear often in times of war. They become a great plague that feasts on the violence and death of humanity. They resemble an emaciated, rotting corpse, skin and muscle hanging from its form. It doesn't take a witcher to smell these creatures. As they walk, decomposing, a noxious flammable gas emits from their bodies. This is what can cause a rotfiend to explode into a gory mess. Witchers would do well to avoid getting backed into a corner by these monsters. As for scurvers, they are necrophages not unlike the rotfiends. They tend to attack in larger packs. They feast on carrion, but sometimes an unlucky traveller. The main difference is that these necrophages are covered in spines and needles that eject out like missiles in every direction. This can be particularly deadly in close quarters. The Murdiablins, the Skelligers call them. Witchers know them to be drowners, mucknixers, or the drowned dead. It is thought these creatures arose from the bodies of drowned sailors and fishermen, as they appear quite humanoid. A closer inspection would tell you this is not the case. Drowners have a sodden, slimy skin like a wet fish. They have bulbous eyes, webbed feet and hands that glide through dark waters like no other creature. They tend to be found on the riverbanks, marshlands, or the coastlines on the continent. Skelligers, being the seafaring people that they are, often cross paths with drowners. They are a common nuisance for witchers, and the death of many a foolish wanderer who gets too close to the water's edge.
Listen, Witcher. Got us some weird diabling. You know, drowners. Real problem. The kind your silver sword could most certainly solve.
Let me guess. They're tearing your nets, devouring your fish, and attacking the occasional lone boatman or tavern patron who walks home along the shore.
Were that the only harm? Terrors in the bay are meaner than on the continent. They hunt come dusk or dawn. They attack fishermen wielding just oars and warriors alike. Sea tosses them up after. Armor shredded, guts devoured. Those who see the beasts, meet him, well, they generally don't come back to dry land alive.
Stench. Drowners for sure. Lair must be nearby.
Never go into strange lights in the fog. It is unnatural and illusionary.
Not so loud, I said. Fog's not natural. Could be something in there hiding.
Foglets! Oh, sweet mother Melitterly, why'd I ever come here?
These breed of necrophages is somewhat more advanced than the previous species mentioned. They have a somewhat magical nature, with many strange abilities that can deceive even the sharpest eye. Foglets, like their kin, resemble decomposing corpses with a pallid grey complexion. They are older creatures too, post-conjunction beasts that have made tricks at their side. A witcher has many tools to combat this. Talismans to dispel illusions, cat eyes in the dark, or a moon dust explosive to reveal their true forms in the fog.
Careful, sir. A monster prowls the bog. Enter the mist and you'll never see home again.
This monster, tell me more.
Only seen it once myself. And that from afar and past dusk. Thought it were a man at first. Then it turned, and I saw eyes burning like coals and a jaw full of fangs, one next to the other.
Humanoid? Nocturnal? First attack. Remember when it happened?
A week passed, near about. It was then Boren vanished. Merrick and Tomil went looking for him, didn't come back either, them two. I were afeard. Now none dare venture into the bog.
Right, time I got to work. Where'll I find this monster?
Start south of here, but beware. Bad, poxy air hangs o'er the marsh. Stings your eyes, claws at your throat. Claws so hard you could choke.
We are nearing the end of our list. Hags come next. The mothers of necrophages. A ghastly visage of weary and rotted women. They come in many different variations.
Thief. Skulls he stole. My skulls. Ought to dig up his own.
There she is. Right on cue.
The grave hag is one that stalks the cemeteries at night, feeding on the bones of those who are laid to rest.
Heard about the job. Seems you've got a problem. Some graves get dug up?
If that were only it. Every now and then, a vile beast would come round the graveyard, devour what's fresh, then move on. Started again not long past. Thought to myself, just don't step out after dark and lock your door tight. But then a young'un went missing.
From the graveyard?
Nay, from the village. Little snotter wouldn't have come here of his own. And I'd heard something like a whimper in the night.
Didn't bother to come out, see what was happening?
Think me daft? If you've monsters, you need a witcher.
They are territorial creatures and do not like any to disturb their lairs, especially witches.
Grave's been dug up. Recently. Smell of cadaverine's old, though. Overripe. Wonder where the stench will lead me. Whatever filth lives here sure chose an unusual place for its lair. Witcher can use tools. Means it's sapient. Or just plain clever. Human skulls in a magic circle. Monsters clearly using them. Drawing strength from the place of power. Somebody's doing some cooking. This. It's a human femur. A child's. Gotta be a grave hag. Collected the skulls to draw the power through them. Confidence grew enough it started prowling the village. Need to take the skulls. Force it to go back to the cemetery. I'll get it there.
They have long, whipping tongues to suck out the marrow of the deceased. There's also the water hag, one that seeks the company of drowners. They make their homes in watery caverns, dark and damp places underground. Like drowners, they're excellent swimmers and can even wade quickly through shallow water or thick mud. Hags are sentient beings. It has been known of them to speak the common tongue, to trick and deceive those that wander too close to their lairs.
What's going on? Someone hit you?
No, quiet, or she'll hear.
Who'll hear?
My beloved, beautiful as the morn and sweet as linden honey. Her grace, so delightful.
Don't seem all that delighted to me. Where is this beloved of yours?
There in the depths, sleeping. But don't wake her by the gods.
Oh, a sweetheart. Fresh and scrumptious. Tell me a rhyme, then you'll get a prize. Or a beating.
You're as lovely as...
As what? As what?
as rotten meat. And you're a monster, and I kill monsters.
The last of the necrophages, and coincidentally the rarest, are the wights. These creatures are isolationists, and only seek the company of themselves.
Wights rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
They do not like to be disturbed, living solitary lives in hibernation for a greater part of it. This does not, however, mean that wights are no threat. If provoked, they can be fearsome. They have an ability to summon spirits from some foul magic and will attack with reckless abandon if their home is threatened. Spotted wights are ones thought hunted to extinction by witchers. A larger breed and named so for their blotchy and patchy skin. However, witcher lore may have been mistaken, as a spotted wight was seen skulking the old Trastamara estate in Tucson. It had all the markings of a wight's lair, yet with the oddity of thousands of spoons littering the ground. It seems this place is haunted by older evils, things much worse than necrophages. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and comment if you'd like me to take a look at any other monsters from The Witcher 3. Subscribe if you want more, it would help me immensely. Thank you and good night, and good luck on the path.